Hello. So what's up guys? Welcome to ANG4 course. We will see whatever we have done till date, and this is the home page. As you see, this project contains an example fetching up JSON data using session storage API, sorting on demand, pagination on demand, communication between components, lazy loading modules, form control and validation, child router, route cards, router palms, content projection, search on type, debounce, advanced reactive forms. In addition to that, we have attached advanced reactive forms, control value access, uh, where we're gonna put some external element in the form on the basis of the chance in that element we're gonna uh, control the form control controls, then dependency injection, and then today we're gonna also put something called store management. But we have to go back and check what we have done so far. So let's start. So this is our code. This is the so first we go for our home page. Homepage HTML, which is contains the list here, nothing else in the list. And if we go to the GS file, um, it has nothing. The homepage contains only the data we present here. So let's go for the pagination page. In this pagination page, we have four components. This is mistakenly named snapper. This is the pagination component. This is the search component, which utilizing debounce, and this is the display component. So I'll show you what the components have uh, in it. So let's go for our projection component, pagination and sorting. Let's go here. So in pagination component, there is a component called main, which contains these four component inside it. And if you go to the content, this is the content um, table. So let us do one thing. Let us put a label here. Content component, so it will appear there. Yes. Then oh no, so in there, why? Okay, it should be okay. So in content component, we just have a display element which takes data from outer components such as input and just displays it, and we are looping through the user information here using ANG4 directives, and here we just put some like a figure when there is no data so that we can it will display us that this when there is no data present. So this is all about the content component. Let's go for the navbar, which is nothing but the this one, the where we are deciding uh, based on which column we're gonna sort this content. So we have two buttons here called user ID and title. The title gonna sort the table based on the title, and the user ID gonna sort it based on the ID. And here we put some classes to display and hide the up and down arrows and put those in a button group. Let's sneak into the TS file. If you see here, we are emitting an event here using event emitter. An event emitter, what are you gonna emit? Whenever we click it, we are emitting the short name, which is containing the name of the column that we want to search, and short order. Short order is a boolean where we're gonna send that we are want to sort the particular column in ascending or descending order. So basically it's doing the part is doing nothing. It's a independent component. We can use it anywhere. That is the beauty of it. It's just emitting the sort order on which, in the basis of which we wanna sort. Then let's go for the pagination component. Here you see we're doing nothing, just we are this particular elements is a li elements. We are just repeating those on the basis of storage length, and this storage length, the name is not intuitable, but the storage length is nothing but the array of number 1 to 10, and that array also we are deriving from number of data in the content. So basically it's take the input. If you go for our TS file, it has the input storage length, which is this array of the numbers from 1 to 10, and also it has a event emitter. What it emits is on the click, it's emits the value of that particular click event, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, depending upon on which li element you have clicked. So this is an independent component which has a event emitter and also a input property in it. So let us see now the search bar. In the search bar, if you see, there is nothing here. We have put a key of event so that and we give a ID to that field so that we can send the value to the key of event depending upon the element and value. So for example, every time we type, it's generated a key of event, and based on that we are perform some task in the app component. And again, this content is depending upon the data which is present in the app component, it changes. But we have applied the debounce to make, as you see here, it's gonna fire that data only once we complete that, because of we were applied debounce. And we're gonna check how we applied that. Let's go to the TS file. In the TS file, if you see, we have event emitter. Event emitter is nothing but sending the data that we wrote in this input box, but we have applied a debounce here. To do that, we have imported map do debounce time delay of distinct until change and merge map. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 operators from RxJS, which makes it easy to configure our debounce. So what we are doing is we are creating a subject here. Subject is nothing but creates a observable to which and provides other function names to which we can subscribe. We can say it's a observer. It can perform a work of observer as well as observable generators. So basically on key of event that we mention on the box element, it fires this, and this is nothing but subscribing to the next function of our subject and passing the term to that. On the basis of that, we are here generated some function in it. So this dot search term dot debounce time, we have put 500. Let's decrease it for our good so that the response will be fast now. Then we have used distinct until change, which is maintain the distinct as same as distinct means not gonna for distinct values. Then you use flat map, which is a component from merge map, and we are creating a observable of the term that we are sending. This term is nothing but the term that we are writing here. So you are creating a observable of that term with delay of 100 milliseconds, and then again we are subscribing to that, and the term this the search emit, and then we are emitting that back to the parent component. Now it's better to check what the logic we are performing in the parent component. So the parent component has lots of data here because it fetches the data from JSON server. So inside it we have variables user info backup we are using because it should be display full data in the right side when we have nothing. For example, when you vacate it means when you make it empty. By delete it will show the full data because of the backup information. This information contain all the data, user information, then user information contains a backup of that data. User information storage any formal value, then we created from value to value this number so that we can create the paginations. The storage length is the array that we are passing to the pagination component. So let's see what we are doing here. We are injecting a service get service data and storage provider service, also a error handler service. So what it's doing is this service is responsible for getting the data from HTTP server, and then this one is the API which creates a session storage API for us, and then error handler is a global error handler. If any error happened while we are accessing the data, it's calling the service so that on the basis based on logic it will log the error in a particular place. So this is called global error handling. We create a service no matter wherever the error happen, we are calling that service. So now because we are putting the data in the session storage, we have ng on init. We are checking if the data is present inside our session storage. If not, only then we are firing the service a HTTP request to the server, so that every time our application load, the first time it will hit the server, and every time else it will check from the session storage. It will increases the performance dramatically. So if the data is not present, we are firing the get service and subscribing the data, and then we are setting item to in session storage. Here then we are uh, you know uh, subscribing or getting the data from the session storage and putting it in user information storage, which contain our row of rows of whole file. When I say whole file, here there are hundreds of records, if you see. So this data from storage contains hundreds of records. Now we kind slicing the value based on the first we are, because we are gonna fetch for first phase from 1 to 10 out of the 100. We are slicing the value which does not affect the original value, from 0 to 10, and then we are sending it to user info as well as to backup. So now again we are dividing a number, or finding the number by dividing the 10, because we are deciding to sort 10 number of rows per page. So then we are creating an array of that number using array of the number fill 0 map element plus 1. So it will create a array of numbers. Then if there is any error, we are subscribed to HTTP response error, then we are calling that service to log the error, which is the global error handler. If the data is not present, we are performing the same logic, but here we are fetching the data directly from the storage, session storage. Now on page click event, this event is click event that is emitted from the pagination page. If you see here, page click event, this is emitted from our pagination, and this is the data is we are sending into the pagination component, and this is the event we are collecting from the pagination event. So if we go inside it, the main TS, so what we are doing is, depending on the pagination event, we are again slicing, changing the from value to value and slicing the data based on the numbers. So for example, if I click 2, the number will become 20 to 30, and we will 11 to 20, sorry, so that we are getting the data from 11 to 20 and so on. On event register from list, this is from the sort item. Whenever event is raised, click, the event is raised, and that going to be sensed through this, and this will call a function called sort the data event, so that we are collecting the event data from here, which is a object that we are sending from the navbar element here, which is sort name and sort order, and then we are in main component collecting these two elements of that object. And based on that, for example, if x equal to id, means if we are best sorting the, you know, got the data to sort the id, then you are sorting the column id. Inside each we are returning, checking the ascending descending order. If it's in ascending, then we are doing something else in descending. The same way we are putting the logic for title. And if it's again, if it's ascending descending, we're checking and sending the value to sort it accordingly. So that completes our pagination page logic completely. Now lazy loading is nothing but, for example, here we have created extra modules. You see, in this is the main module which contains our root. But if you see other modules, it will be declared as common module, not root module. Whenever it's common module, it is a structural, um, you can say, module. So inside here app module, we see the routes. I will show you how we have applied the lazy loading concepts. So the components we have inserted here, all the components. So here this data is ascending is not required. We can send the data, and based upon that we can apply animation. That we didn't did yet, just I'm sending the data. So here this is the lazy loading type. We are accessing a passing the lazy route from our home component, and we are load children lazy load from module and lazy form module. Now if we see the lazy form module, we will see the path lazy form component and reactive form. If you go further in new lazy, I will show you something here. It is a component which has its own children components. So we are like declaring only one path here, and it will go to this component, and that component will contain additional routes, which is there here, which is contain two more routes here. And we are applying route guards, can activate. So in case inside route guard, I will show you what we are doing here. If you go for services, route guard, we just create an injectable service. We are importing which guard we have to apply. On inside we are declaring a logic which is gonna return as boolean. Based on the condition, we declare the route guard here inside the module. So it is gonna check and activate. So because we put a logic of confirmation, when it's only true, it will allow us to that particular component. So this is called routing module, and there are four kind of route guard: can activate, can load, can deactivate, can low activate child. So that's all for the route guard. We have did lazy loading. We did how we loaded the lazy loading modules. It's nothing but just we went ahead and put this that load children, and we give the module and then module name. That's what will load the module, and the different components depending now which is injected in that particular module or included in that module will load only when the particular path got called. So it reduces the burden on our mother app component and will not load all the component when we are calling. We are just loading the required component when a particular module get called. This process is called lazy loading. Activated route is nothing but a process to send parameters in the router or navigation from one state to other or one page to other. So to show that, I will show you activated route and params. So this is the router parent component. Let's go here. You see there is many way to send that. This is the one way, or this is also, this 2017 is a parameter. Here we are sending the link from dynamically from the file, and also parameter from the file without hard coding it, like in this, like is shown in this link. So if you go for TS file, if you say the router 2 is router pro 2 and the ID, we are sending ID and MA object. So then inside our router 2 pro, the TS, if you see, inside our parent, here parent, then router pro 2, router pro, you see here we are sending the palms through the property binding panel primary. Router 1, if you see here, there we go. So here we are accessing the different parameter based on the palm. So here we are injecting the activated route service, and this activated route can access to the params. This can access the data that we send to the route. So let's see data from the router link. ID is 2017. I will show you the data from the main component. If you see here, we are not sending the data here. I believe we are sending the data from the module itself. Nope. Query custom parameter router pro router link. We are not sending the data here. From where it is getting the data? Not here. Router and palms. Okay, perfect. Data from router any, route palms any. So here we are activate route the palms, subscribe data route params, then some data error console log. Let's say I have to check where we are sending the data. The data is nothing but the way we are sending. See there, we are setting link and param the query parameter, and somehow we have kinda screwed it up by putting you know, putting the different link is fine, and here we are doing this sheet data from router link. Here we don't have the logic, that's why it's not showing. Anyway, maybe yes, yeah, perfect. By default we have put. Where is our parent component? You know what, something is not okay. Oh sorry, why you are this one. Here we are sending the data the same way we are sending. We are, because this module is calling those components, we are passing the data from this component and we are doing it like there. So this is the data that we are fetching here through the activated route stuffs. That name and token and everything is coming from there. In that, on basis of that, we can send some token and everything and perform some task. And then yeah, that's this. So everything is here inside that the logic you say. We just injected the activated route services and we're subscribing to the everything like palms from data and whatever we want. But basically this is a object, and this, if you console.log this activated route, it will show us all the objects. Go to console.log. If you see, now we are activated route is the object, and from after inspecting that object we can access anything from snapshot. We get the values, params as well. Just I am displaying those steps to show how we can do that. From this activated route object we can access all the values we want as for our need. So that's all for our activated route. Now the content projection, which is an advanced topic, I will be doing it sooner.